Well, everything I do has backlash. So I'm sure that there'll be some backlash from someone, but the responsibility I have is to prepare a protocol for this state, and we've done that. I believe in it. I think we've vetted it through people to ensure that it is an acceptable process that will be found to hold the legal standard and legal weight, and we'll move forward. So I'm sure that the process is good. I'm happy with all the work that my staff's done and talking with the various experts. But will I have legal challenges? Probably so. But that's okay, because we'll continue to fight those legal challenges, because we're doing what's obligated by us in the state of Ohio.
Can you describe how big of a problem this whole vein issue has been? That Christopher Newton, it's like 2.5 hours to find his vein. There's I want to say the person before him, there was an issue. This thing continues to go on and on.
Well, I don't think it does continue to go on and on, and I really don't think it's a problem. If I walk across the street to Mount Carmel Hospital, I suspect today in them trying to gain IV access for surgery, they've probably missed or lost many veins today. I can tell you from personal experience of having blood drawn 3 or 4 times to get blood out of me. Maybe what's that old saying? If I get blood out of somebody. Having surgery, I've had surgery where they missed the vein. So I don't think it was a problem. Was it difficult for us to get? Yes. Did we gain access? Yes. Were we successful in completion? 32 out of 33 times? Yes, we were. A lot of people have talked about the Newton case. Inmate Newton told us before we ever started that he had difficult veins to deal with, and that, in fact, was telling the team members that as they were having difficulty with him, that they were probably going to get in trouble and all that because of that. But I don't think we're any different. The people I have who are doing gaining intravenous access sites are qualified under law of the state of Ohio to give intravenous injections and find IV sites. But I would challenge anyone to go to any major hospital or any other hospital and ask them how many times a day in your operations and in your emergency room or your nurse drawing blood did they miss a vein or lose access to the vein or a vein go out on them while they were attempting to draw blood. I think you would find that to be a large number.
Director, you call this rare and exceptional with the Broom case, but wasn't Clark similar to this, where you had vein issues and it was serious delays over that? I mean, what makes this rare? I mean, you've had problems before.
Well, it was rare in the fact that before we was always able to get a vein that would be viable through the process. In the Broom process, we gained vein access. We could not sustain that access. Once they would be able to get a line into a vein, that vein was what they told me was flash out, and that's when they did exactly what our policy said to do. They felt that they couldn't gain access that would sustain through the combination of drugs that we would be using, the 3-drug protocol, which puts us into a whole different ballgame. If I have that individual on the table and halfway through the process lose a vein, particularly if I've had trouble getting it. The Joseph Clark case, we lost a vein during the process and we had to go in and regain a vein. The other case that we just talked about, I think I've already explained it, but again, I would challenge people to go to your local hospitals. I have friends who are nurses, and I've asked them about that, and they said, well, it's not uncommon that you get miss a vein, and I've had it personally happen to me several times.
But is the Clark situation, is that one where if you had this protocol in place, you would have been able to automatically go to your backup plan that you're implementing now?
In all those cases, we could have done that. We would have had the intramuscular backup, yes.
Director, this 1-drug method is essentially what Judge Burge recommended in his finding up in Lorraine. I think that was last year, maybe this year. Did that influence you at all, the fact that the judge had said, Steve, go to the 1-drug method?
That did not influence us. In fact, that particular case was about 2 inmates who haven't even been to court. I think they still sit in the county jail there and haven't been to court. And that was later qualified and he later qualified that he wasn't saying that the state should do that only if the one or two individuals that we were in court about who haven't been to court yet, who haven't been found guilty yet, if they were found guilty, if they were given the death penalty, the state would have to use the single drug protocol. In fact, I think it got overturned later on at the appellate court. What helped us in this particular issue, what helped me was my staff, after talking with a number of individuals that I've talked about earlier, assured me that, and our expert has testified in previous cases, I believe it was in Tennessee, that the one drug protocol would work. And the fact that we continue to have lots of litigation about that in Ohio, because I have experts who say it will work, because in 31 to 32 times I've been there, I've seen this 5-pental work, that I was willing to go ahead and do that. I think it'd make it a little bit easier for the team. When some people would say, well, why do you continue to use the intravenous method? Well, that is a proven method, and it is a little quicker method because putting drugs through the vein is quicker. So those are the reasons behind that, and I think primarily we take away the argument of those individuals that want to talk about the pain of the other two drugs.
Do you still have two active lines hooked up, or you got away with
We will have two active lines, but because we now have a backup procedure, if we get one good site and the team feels that site will sustain, we'll move forward. We changed that after the Clark case to say we would do two. We're going to go back to one or two, so we'll have two lines. So that if they do get one good vein, they want to move forward after discussion, then we can do that.
Director, is this solely your call, or do you need the governor's approval? Does the legislature have any say?
I am responsible for establishing and authorizing the lethal injection protocol for the state.
Director?
Let me come back over here and go.
Sure.
Thank you, Director. Did you say how long, let's say you get into another situation like